Hi, this is Eugenia. And as this year is coming to a close, we are probably ready to summarize, to reflect, to look back on what happened, and more importantly, to start thinking about our intention for the new year. To think about what do we want to leave behind in the old year and what do we want to bring forward. I find that when we think about these things early enough, it allows us to really spend the time and reflect, as well as set an intention for the new year to come. So today, I want to share with you the steps that you can take to help you reinvent yourself in the new year and start preparing for the new energy of the year, for the new things to come, for setting an intention to be the best you, to let go of the things that no longer serve you, and to open up space and make room for the new, fresh, exciting start, and to bring into your life things that you've been dreaming of for a long time. I'm Eugenia, and I'm a transformational coach. I work with professional women to help them step into their power and connect to who they are so that they can experience the luxury of being themselves. So today, I would love to talk about what you can do and where you need to start so that your intention of reinventing yourself and letting go of whatever no longer serves you and bringing in the new starts off on the right foot, and that you can create and build a plan of what you need to do to let go and step into the new level, new dimension of yourself. And the first step is really setting a strong intention and understanding what is it that you're intending to create. And for some of us, it is understanding what no longer serves. For others, it is looking deeper into our dreams. So setting an intention for what it is that you are thinking to create, whether it's starting from understanding what no longer serves you, where you no longer want to be, who you no longer want to be, and then from there, understanding and stepping into or realizing where is it that you want to go and who you want to become. So setting that intention and spending time there and being very clear with what you want to create is the place to start. Once you do that, it is about being honest with yourself and understanding that any transformational process and any transition, any change takes time. So being patient with yourself is something you're going to need, and remind yourself during this process. We are a reflection of what we carry on the inside, the beliefs, the programming, the patterns, and the world on the outside does reflect back to us what we carry, what we put out into the world. And very often, we don't even understand that some of these things are subconscious. We don't always know, we don't always notice the fears, the programs, the key limiting beliefs that we're carrying that are showing up in the little and big things that we do, that the universe and the world reflect back to us. So this process is going to be a work from inside out, and also understanding that things that trigger you are your best teachers, and also looking at these triggers and people around you that sometimes are pointing to those things that you need to work on as opportunities, and being grateful for those is very important. And also understanding that you create your life. So when you take responsibility for what you create, for the things you do, for how you react, for what you work on and what you do with your life, that you are the master and you can create what you want. And the first step to start is looking at your fears. What is it that you're carrying inside that really stops you or prevents you or blocks you from achieving what you want or going for what you want or making the changes that you have been desiring? You see, the fears is something that we all have, and they are important. They are something that allow us to survive. It's something that we carry with us and makes us human. Understanding what they are and understanding where they came from and working on the fears is where we need to start. First and foremost, acknowledging what those fears are, understanding where they come from is very important. So when you're noticing that, you having a dialogue with yourself about something, noticing how do you speak to yourself is key. And there's many different ways that you can work with your fears. I have a number of practices that I use in my work with clients. But the first and foremost is really understanding what those fears are, how old you were when you got them, and understanding what is it that they do for you. Once you're able to really get clear on that, you can actually work on those fears and you can let those go. The second one is understanding your programming and your limiting beliefs. The programming and the limiting beliefs is something that we take from our environment. It's something that we have learned since we were young or older, but something that we have taken as our truth and something that can really run our life on a day-to-day basis. I will give you an example. If you think that money is something that is hard to come by, or money is something that you have to work hard for, that's the programming that you have from your environment, whether it's from your family or from the group of individuals that you socialized with or grew up with, or something you learned in school. That would be a big imprint in your life. And a lot of the decisions that you make, a lot of the situations in your life would bring you to that programming, and that programming and that belief would show up. So when you say to yourself on a subconscious level that I have to work hard for everything I have or everything I want to get, then life would reflect to you that everything is hard work. So understanding what those limiting beliefs are and how they show up in your life is the second step. Again, all of these are big things that you need to excavate, and working on those is very, very important. So finding ways that you can understand what those programs are is very important. So you can start with thinking about, what is it that I feel scarce in? What is it that I feel I'm nervous about? What is it that makes me uncomfortable in my life? From there, you can start thinking, what do I think about the big areas of my life? Money, partnerships, relationships, career. What do I think about those things? What are some of the beliefs that I've learned? And when you think of those beliefs, you can also think about who are the individuals and the adults in my life that I've heard that from. For me, I would say some of the things that I would hear would be, relationships are difficult. People can be difficult. Friendships are hard to get. Those are things and programs that I've heard from my family, from my grandparents throughout my childhood. And I've learned that that's how it is. So I really had to spend time to understand where it came from and why do I think so. And so once you uncover those beliefs and programs, you can ask yourself, do I believe this is true? And then you can check. Have you seen examples in your life that this is not true? Is it always so? And if yes, that's not always so and this is not true, then how is it that you can replace those beliefs with something else? So for example, if we take relationships, if you think that relationships are hard to get or it is hard to find a partner, where have you heard that from? Where did you get that limiting belief from? Or what situation in your life has taken place where you have decided for yourself to think this way? And is that always true? Or is that true for you? So looking at examples of other people in your life and seeing that they have happy partnerships can allow you to realize that this is not always true. So how is it that you can replace that belief? You can see what is it that you want to be true or that you feel could be true in your life. So for example, the relationships, relationships are all around me. Happy relationship is something I can find and that is possible for me. See, that belief can replace the old one. So understanding what your beliefs are and looking at which beliefs are true for you now can really make a difference. You see, the clothes that we wore in childhood, we do not wear now, but the beliefs stay with us for a big part of our life. And often those beliefs no longer fit who we are, but we still carry them with us. Third thing is understanding the patterns that have taken place in your family, with your ancestors, and that have been passed on to you. So every family is a system. And every family, whether your relatives or ancestors are with us in this dimension or not, every family is a system. And we do exist as a system. So you come into your family for a reason, and you carry a lot of programs that your family and that your ancestors have experienced. And those programs are passed on from generation to generation. But you can be the one to break some of those negative patterns, especially if there's something that does not work for you that you no longer want to carry. So understanding what are the themes that have been showing up with your ancestors, with your family, is very important. And honoring their struggles and honoring their challenges is very, very important. So understanding and talking to your family about your loved ones and what they've been through and what were some of the challenges that they experienced, how they've experienced their life, what hardships did they have, what successes did they have. Learning more about your family is very, very important. See, the indigenous cultures have this honoring of the ancestors. It's a big part of their day-to-day life. And in the Western world, it's not something that we practice regularly, but it is very important to understand where we come from, what our roots are, what are those patterns that we carry, and finding ways to see what are the patterns that we can change. So if you, for example, have a pattern of experiencing, abandonment, or there's other patterns that you might be carrying with you where, the relationships do not work out, or there's certain challenges, poverty, or some other challenges that your family has experienced. Think about what are the beliefs behind it, and how is it that you have taken on some of those beliefs, and what is it that you can do that can make a difference in your family, and your ancestors will thank you for it, as well as you can help generations ahead. You see, when we change who we are, we can change 7 generations of energy, of hardships, of challenges behind us, and we can help 7 generations ahead of us. Wouldn't it be worth it to do some of this work? Once you're able to look at your fears and limiting beliefs and the ancestral programs and patterns, it is important to think about what is it that you want. If you're going through a change, or if you feel that there's something new that needs to be brought into your life, what is it that you want? What is it that you desire? What is it that brings you joy? All of these questions are very important to ask yourself. And from there, build a direction in which you want to go. And that direction has to come from a place of your heart and soul. You see, when we are able to tune into who we are, we no longer can lie to ourselves and be dishonest and push those feelings down. You'll always know that you have done something to betray yourself. So being honest and honoring yourself is key. So what is it that you want? Writing a list. And sometimes it could be very basic, because when you're able to tune in and understand what you want, what makes you feel good in your body, in your heart, in your soul, that's where you start making the changes. Our body never lies. So what are the practices that you can do on a physical level? What are the exercises? What are the things that you can do to cherish and honor your body so that you can physically feel good, so that your body feels in tune and you can, through your body, understand where you're at in life? And also, as part of this journey, the next step would be is understanding who you are and reminding yourself what you're good at. What is it that you've been good at that others have told you about, that you know of, that really allows you to be and stand out on your own and be the individual that is cherished and loved and honored by others? And what are you proud of? What are your accomplishments? So understanding from there, what is it that you can do in your life that utilizes some of these skills, some of these talents that can bring you forward. And then your plan of changing, or your plan of next steps. How are you going to implement those changes? What are you going to start doing that allows you to overcome your fears? You see, we all have fears. We all experience them on a day-to-day basis. But the difference is that some of us do and move forward despite those fears, by overcoming them, by finding ways to understand ourselves and to work on those unconscious beliefs, by really moving forward and stepping into action and enjoying life and really connecting to our soul, and realizing that once we're able to really overcome and reinvent ourselves, that's where the joy is. When we see that growth, when we see that progress, when we see that we are freer, we are more expressed, we are more connected and in tune with who we are. So really tuning in to those desires, to those things that you're good at, to those wishes, to what brings you joy, and practicing those and honoring yourself and stepping into action is what it will allow you to really reinvent yourself and to bring in those powers that you have within you and the energy that wants to be expressed out in the world.